Hey guys, you are watching and listening to Vaul. As you might have seen from my last Infinity game, got a holiday at the moment, a couple of weeks off work, so just doing a few things. One of those things was to upgrade my computer. I've got Windows 10 now, graphics card installed, playing some computer games, watching some Twitch. One thing I've never got around to was doing much streaming or much recording of webcam based stuff. I bought a new webcam as well, which is going pretty well. It's Logitech. Playing some Faeria. Faeria, if you haven't tried it, is very similar to Hearthstone and Duelist. It's got a board where you play minions onto it. We'll have a look at it in a minute. But the main thing is that I've set up my Twitch channel. And I haven't really, well, I've done a test stream, but nothing really serious. Haven't really invited people to watch yet. But head over and bookmark it if you would like. It's twitch.tv/Vaulsc, obviously. Pretty easy one to find, so just look up Vaulsc on Twitch and you'll find me. What I'd like to do is get into streaming some games, maybe a bit of Faeria, as we'll have a look at, maybe Darkest Dungeon, which I quite like, maybe Diablo 3 when the next season starts. Whatever I'm feeling like, whatever people like watching. Hopefully you guys will enjoy hanging out with me on Twitch. I'd quite like that. Yeah, hopefully the technology holds up. Let's have a look at Faeria though, because it's a game I might post some videos on. I'll just reduce the size of my little webcam screen a little bit here. Put this up in the top right corner. So Faeria is available on Steam. I believe it's free to play, but of course if you want to buy extra packs of cards and things like that, it's going to cost money. You don't really need to invest any money in this game. That's my personal thought. You can play it for free. But let's have a look at the basics. So very similar to Hearthstone in the sense that you've got the solo mode where you can play against the computer. You can do that in Hearthstone. Battle is effectively constructed mode, where you got your deck builder here and you make some decks and then you compete in battle. Pandora is the equivalent of Arena, and Pandora is the format that I'll be playing the most because I've invested money into the game. I haven't really got all the good cards, so Arena or Pandora is where you basically have to draft your deck. It's got the system where you have these coins. Up here you've got the Pandora coin. I've got 11 of those, and then there's a Phantom coin which you get a free one of every day, and that gives you a free arena run, but it's a bit shorter. So if I do stream Twitch, it'll be mainly using these. Having a look at the cards themselves, let's jump straight into one of my decks here. So you can see a Faeria deck. Very similar to Hearthstone in the sense that, say this card here, the Flame Spitter. Oh, I'll move my I'm gonna move my window out of the way down here so we can have a look at the right hand side. There we go. So Flame Spitter, you've got the mana cost, or in this case Faeria as it's called, is the resource you spend, and on the bottom left 2 damage and 2 health, so they interact in the same way that Hearthstone creatures interact with each other. Gift refers to the battle cry, obviously. You've got Last Words, which is Death Rattle, and various other different rules which you can do. Spells are known as events. In a similar way that Magic the Gathering has different colours, you've got different colours in this game as well, and we'll have a look at the board very shortly. But there are 4 colours. You've got green, red, yellow, and blue. Yellow, I haven't really played MTG, but I feel like yellow is a bit of a combination of black, and well, yeah, it's got some elements of black in there. I'm going to see if I can queue up a game. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find a game depending on what rank you're at. But we'll have a look at the board and how the mechanics of the game work. So yeah, it's a nice little game. It's good that it's free. It feels more refreshing. One thing that people like about Faeria compared to, say, Hearthstone is that there's less RNG at the moment. There are much fewer cards which have a completely random effect. So that focuses the game on the cards themselves and the decision making. From what I've seen of Constructed at the moment, there are a couple of decks kind of dominating, and I think you'll get that from most trading card games. Not that I'm a real expert on trading card games per se, but from what I've seen from Hearthstone and maybe a bit of MTG, yeah, you sometimes have these decks which are running really well in the meta, and that can get frustrating if you're a big Constructed player. I stick with the drafted version though, the Hearth Arena Pandora in this format. Anyway, if we can queue up a game, what we're going to be seeing is that you've got a playing board which is split up into a lot of different hexagons, and you play the cards into the board itself. And you've got to develop land as well, but one of the main things about this game is that every turn, if you haven't spent your full amount of resource, the Faeria, the mana that you accumulate, it adds up. And if you didn't make any plays in turn 1 or 2, you've got heaps of resources to play a much higher value card later in the game. So it can be a higher tempo play in some cases to play a bigger card that has more impact on the board. I'm playing a red deck here. I've got Bombslinger. Just going to chuck him out. You can mulligan these cards just in the same way you do in Hearthstone. In fact, we're going to mulligan all 3 of these cards because I'm aiming for some more aggressive, faster cards like this Axe Grinder here. So as you can see, we've got a board here with all of these hexagons and these little Faeria wells on the side. And then there's the power wheel. So in the middle there is the number 2 symbol where you can create 2 neutral lands. Neutral lands allow you to fill up the board quicker, and you can put coloured lands on them later. Or you could play one of these 4 coloured lands. I'm playing a red deck, so I'll building the mountains, the red colour. You can only build one at a time though. It's the disadvantage of choosing one of these. You can draw a card, that's one option here, or you can add +1 to your pool. So you start out with 3 Faeria here, or 3 mana. I'm going to use that, well actually you're going to save it in this particular turn. I'm going to make some neutral lands here. And you can see the green bar sort of counting down to ending my turn, just roping out. Bottom left, you've got the 27, that's the number of cards left in my deck, the other 3 in my hand. You start with 30, it shows 3 in the hand here, same thing for my opponent up here. That's my opponent's face, you start with 20 life. Because it's harder to get across the board and actually hit your opponent for damage, that's why you start with lower health in, say, Hearthstone, where you've got 30. In Hearthstone, you can attack their face straight away. So he's building the neutral lands as well. By the way, instead of getting a coin, you get Explore, which is something which grants you a free prairie or neutral land and gives you 2 extra resource. And he's coming straight, he's building a bridge straight towards my area here, so that means usually that he's trying to rush. So I'm going to put down a mountain this time. That's all I can do with the power wheel, as it's called. But I can put down this fire elemental on here, and he's got a Battle Cry, or Gift as it's called, where I can create another mountain anywhere adjacent to my land. I'm just going to chuck it, let's put it here. Note that you can only build lands adjacent to lands you've already built or creatures you have. So if I move this creature out into the board over here, I can build lands next to it. Timer ticks down as it's in my opponent's turn. Really quite like the music and the artwork in this game and the theme. It's very sort of fairy sort of themed, but it's done very tastefully and nicely. And they are constantly adding more art, design and so forth to the game, so I'm really appreciating that. It's gone through quite a lot of patches since I started a few months ago. I don't play this game super often, but when I do play, I generally stick around and have a decent session with it. Again, neutral cards for my opponent. Neutral lands, I should say. You can run neutral cards as well, but they are typically less powerful and synergistic as the coloured ones. So he's played a Plague Bearer. Last words, as in Death Rattle, when it dies, deal 2 damage to all creatures, so that's going to be a good counter to this monster, which has high damage but very low life. So what do I do here? I feel like I should be blocking off his obvious attempt to hit face, so I can do that. What I can do is I can move to this point. Now, didn't talk about these little wells. As soon as you move a creature next to this well, or if the creature starts the turn next to one of these wells, you gain a +1 resource. So that can be a really big element of this game if if you're playing a control strategy and you're picking up a lot of resources. So I'm going to use, again, neutral land. I'm going to place 1 here because that blocks them from creating more lands next to the life total. And I'm also going to put 1 out over here just to give me the opportunity to put a piece of land next to his well, because that allows me to capitalize on this ability here from this Axe Grinder creature where he gets +1/1 if he's summoned next to my opponent's well. So that's the idea. If he uses the Plague Bearer later to kill this, I'm not really too concerned. This did what it was meant to, which was to create the mountain. Still neutral land, so he still hasn't really developed any particular color of his deck. Horsemaster, oh, this is cool because it gives this creature charge, which allows it to move quicker, as you just saw there. And then he can actually place more land over here to hastily attack me. So I quite like that strategy. And if I do decide to take him out, that means that I'm going to lose the Fire Elemental. So what I may as well do when it becomes my turn is actually attack directly and trade models. I'm a tabletop wargamer. I'm always going to refer to it as a model. But the good thing about this for me is that if I attack with the Fire Elemental, it's going to not only deal damage and wipe out these two creatures, but also his one as well. So let's just do that straight away. Actually, let's have a think first. Whenever I play these games, I'm always too hasty. I've got a hate seed here, which is dropping in cost every time I summon a creature with higher attack than life, so I've already taken one down from the Fire Elemental. I'm going to be getting another one from Axe Grinder. I could play Garadan straight away. Garadan is a dragon, he's badass, he deals 3 damage to all creatures, but what that's going to do is it's going to trigger Last Words from the Plague Bearer and kill my own guy, so I am going to go ahead and trade this off. It's going to cause that model. Again, it's going to be a hard habit to break, guys. At this point, if he wants to summon creatures to attack me, I'm not too concerned. I'm just going to continue with the strategy I developed earlier. That is to put down this Axe Grinder. Getting 5/4, Hate Seed becomes less costly. The Firebringer also gets +1 buff every time. This is effectively a net deck, by the way. This is one of the stronger decks in the meta at the moment, but it's not even a true net deck because I don't actually have access to all the cards that I need. I'm going to put down this Brute here. Reason for that is that he can harvest from this well when it's my turn, and if my opponent puts something down here, I can then attack, and every time he fights, he's got this rule where he deals 2 burn damage to the opponent's face just for fighting, so it helps put the pressure on. Yeah, I do recommend this game, guys. If you liked Hearthstone but you weren't a big fan of the RNG, or if you're a fan of the meta being a bit stagnant, or if you didn't like having to sort of wait for enough gold to have an arena run, you might like this game because when you're starting out, there's heaps of fun with the solo side of things, which is free. You get a lot of free decks as a result of just leveling up and playing games, and of course you can play the arena mode Pandora, which is relatively fair. There is some RNG there, but it's very fair in the sense that you don't have to pay money to win. You know, you just play better than your opponent. So this is really good here for me. The Shaden Brute is able to kill the Freedom Fighter here. Haste allows him to attack straight away, by the way, as you may have noticed. Also dealt 2 damage to my opponent. He's still got the Silent Horsemaster, but he's not going to be able to kill Face quick enough, I think. What I can do here is put down Fire Elemental to get closer to here and put down some more land, but to be honest, I'm not really that worried. I guess doing this means that he can't create a land blocker there and put a creature on it, so this gets the Axe Grinder closer to him. Next turn I'll have another 3 mana, enough to play Garadan, which should counter any low cost creatures he lands. This is still going to be enough to trade with the Silent Horsemaster, so although I could put down creatures, I don't really feel like there's any urgency to, so just going to pass. I can't think of anything conceivable in his hand that he could have that will really present a massive threat. He can play a very high cost creature, but he's only got 3 Faeria up in the top left, as you can see, to threaten me, so he hasn't developed any coloured lands, so I can't see him pulling any of the massive synergies which are possible with the coloured deck. Yeah, I think maybe yellow is possibly my favourite colour in this game. I've collected most of the green cards, so I'm probably strongest with green just given my collection. Blue I don't really like that much. Village Elder. So he'll draw a card if he dies. I'm not too worried about that. Just going to go straight ahead and trade here just to defend home base. Then I'm going to move in and just attack, just to try and put the pressure on. I think it makes sense to put down another axe grinder. It's going to buff both of these cards as I do that, so this has become cheaper and this has become more powerful. And again, I think I can just hold on to the 7 Faeria because every turn, if I can hover around 10, it gives me the opportunity to play Garridan if things get really dicey. So I've got a free opportunity in the power wheel down here. Could just use it to draw a card. I don't really feel the need to develop the land much more. What the hell, I'm going to do that anyway. Oh, I feel like this game's in the bag, but if he defends really well here, maybe having another angle of attack would be better. No, I'm just going to go for the card draw, I think, just to give me all the options in the turn. Blazing Salamander, so his gift is to deal 2 damage to all adjacent enemy creatures. I really like using this card. Even if you can only kill 1 creature out of it, you still get some decent value. If you kill 2 low health creatures with it, it's just an insane card. Very, very rarely you might get the 3 kill off with it or more, but that's just really unlikely and don't really expect to have that happen. It doesn't synergize well with these other sort of cards which require you to have creatures with more attack than health, but generally having more health is better. Stickability on the board is really important in games like this. These axe grinders though, oh, he's just passed the turn. So this should be fine. Outland Ranger, at a campfire. Got tons of total over here. Just gonna go ahead and chuck this guy down just to gain more Faeria for later. Have this campfire, which I could have used there, to be honest, to whack him with. Having the campfire though, even though he knows that I've got a campfire thanks to this guy, it threatens the lethal even more than I've already got. So if he kills one of these creatures, I do win the next turn if he doesn't stop the next creature. So we'll just I don't know, throw some lands down in the turn. Yeah, so this was a relatively easy game. The matchmaking system's pretty good. It feels like you do reach opponents of equal difficulty pretty easily. The ladder has recently been reset by the guys that make this game, so that's good. But yeah, really looking forward to trying out the stream. Hopefully you guys will join me. If you'd like me to play another game, let me know. I might try out Darkest Dungeon. Really love that game. Oh, player Judas FX Lost Connection has 113 seconds to reconnect. That's a shame. Yeah, I might try Diablo 3, the new season. I always enjoy playing Diablo 3 when the new season comes out, and I play it for like a week before it gets boring, like most people do, then I go to something else. Even had a look at Dawn of War 3. It looks like the game will suck. I'll give it a chance though. It might be entertaining for a bit. I don't imagine it turning into a seriously good strategic game. I don't know if the graphics will really be something that will wow us. I think it'll be popular though, and I think that it might be a game that a lot of people would like me to watch or play. That is because people watched me a lot in Dawn of War 1 with the series for that, and even a bit of Dawn of War 2. So maybe give it a go. Depends how much it costs on Steam, I guess. Looks like my opponent has decided not to play the rest of the game out. Or regardless, we've got the win here with the campfire, or the 2 attacks to face, so we'll just finish this off. And yeah, that's Faeria. So yeah, any questions about Faeria? Obviously, they've got a Reddit page. You can always ask me if you really feel like it, but there are probably better experts to ask about how to do well in this game. There's a shop where every time you get 100 gold, you can buy a new pack. At the moment, there's an opportunity to pay $50 to buy the full set of cards. They are removing that soon, controversially. But I think that's probably a good thing. It takes away the incentivization to grind and really earn decks by playing games. Deck builder, you can create decks obviously just by chucking in their little thematic sort of go ahead, or you can do it the normal way and actually construct it yourself. It's a bit more like MTG, I suppose, where Why am I constantly referencing MTG? I don't even play MTG. What I was going to say is that you can add a maximum of 3 copies of each card. So 3 Soul Drains, can't take any more. You've got the legendary ones with the little yellow diamond on the top. The rare or epic, or what do you want to call it? The blue and pink. Yeah. Alright, so I think that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Keep checking out the page. More Infinity stuff coming soon. See you guys next time.